I think you and I agree. The second that Vendetta swung that sword and Doomfist caught it, that fight should have been over.
Yeah, no, it should have been over. That was the best moment in the entire thing because it was Doomfist, the character we know and love.
Hello, everyone. For the first time ever, we have a two-parter here. We couldn't get everything done in 2 hours, so I don't know how long this one's going to be, but it's going to be also about Spotlight. And maybe it's going to be 2 hours. I don't know. We'll have to see. Yet again today, it's 2 days in a row, so he hasn't gone anywhere. Say hello to the nice people, Ian.
What's up, everybody? This is Master and Gamer back to talk more about Overwatch Spotlight.
Man, you can just I can hear over the years the soul leaving this man's body. Yes, anyways, so here we are. We are now in part 2. Last time we talked about heroes, just the new heroes, and we briefly touched on the removal of the 2 from Overwatch 2. Today, we are instead going to be talking about some cosmetics, and the more story-related stuff, some, like, added features they're doing, just sort of the more stuff that isn't in the game itself aspect. Like, the things that don't happen when you're in a match, which is what I would consider the game. Except for maps, I guess. Anyways, the first thing I wanted to briefly mention is this was something I didn't actually know about yesterday when we were talking about heroes. People have noticed that Emre, despite being Turkish, when he respawns, he has a Finnish word on the screen, unlike his HUD, that apparently translates to something along the lines of, like, initiating sequence or something like that. Like, starting operations, something along those lines. And then his ultimate line is also in Finnish, and it apparently translates to something along the lines of, like, searching and destroying. I don't think I need to explain how weird that is, that the Turkish hero has his ult line in Finnish. Like, those places are not the same place. That's not even the same language family. So, yeah, it's pretty weird. I think, Ian, you mentioned that what you believe this to be is, as we talked about yesterday, we're thinking that the eye is like, the eye on Emre's suit looking like HAL 9000 from 2001: A Space Odyssey is, like, not a mistake. It's, like, actually meant to be an AI. And Ian, I believe you said that you believe it to be the god AI Chernobog, who is housed in Helsinki, the capital of Finland, right?
Yes. That's not even just like my theory. That seems to be the active theory in the community at the moment.
Okay.
Because I mean, you look at the way it behaves in the context of Emre, and it's like, oh, an eye that, like, looks around on its own and then, like, takes over and does things to Emre when you ult. It's like, yeah, that feels like an AI. Like, that feels like a sentience in some capacity, more than just like, oh, he's remotely being controlled by, like, a mysterious organization. And if, like, the whole, speaking Finnish, because Chernobog, from my understanding, yeah, is based in Helsinki, because I just brought up the wiki page to check everything here. Yeah, so I mean, like, it's based in Helsinki. He speaks Finnish when he ults, and only when he ults, and thus the program is in control.
Interesting.
Like, yeah, it's like, what else is it supposed to be? Like, it lines up.
That's so
I don't see why they would do that unless this is what they're intending. Which implies that the eye, at least partially, if not entirely, was Chernobog all along. And it's like, what is it up to then?
That would be interesting. If, like, one of the god AIs is really, really, has kind of taken control more than the others. I will note, I don't know how much you know about the actual mythology of Chernobog.
Not much at all.
Chernobog is, I think it's more like it's like a Nordic, I believe it's Nordic. It's like a Nordic or with sort of like Slavic influence, because it's Finland. I mean, think about where it is. It's got Norway and Sweden on one end, Russia on the other. Although the language is actually Uralic, which is a whole thing, which means it's like from the Ural Mountains in Russia, but that's a whole different tangent. I believe the idea behind Chernobog is like the god of evil. Like literally, it's like a good versus evil thing in the mythology at some point in the region. And Chernobog was basically like just the devil, essentially. Because we know that the god AIs all had their own roles, basically. Like, we know Anubis was the ecological control AI, because apparently the way the Omnic crisis started was the Anubis AI trying to protect the environment calculated quite reasonably that the greatest threat to the environment was humans, and so to do its job, it decided, well, that means we just have to get rid of humans. Which, yeah, I mean, fair enough. I mean, granted, that's kind of it's a cliche, but, like, it makes sense. So I kind of wonder what Chernobog's thing was, because we know that, like, we know Athena is wisdom.
Yeah, we have it here. I don't know what the origin of this information is, but according to the wiki, it was responsible for global security.
Oh, why?
I'm assuming this comes up in one of the like novels or short stories at some point.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Apparently, Overwatch Declassified is the source. Okay.
Why would Why would an AI called Chernobog be in charge of security? Because like Anubis makes sense. Because
does it?
No, it does. No, it does. Death is part of the ecosystem. Like,
sure.
Like, the ecosystem sustains itself largely on, like, recycling organic matter. Like, that's an essential part of it. So, Anubis being the god of death is, ironically, what, like, fuels life in the ecosystem. So, I say this as someone who is going to school for ecology, at least right now. This is essential. This is why mushrooms and fungi are like the basis of the ecosystem, basically, because they break down organic matter. This actually, that's why it being called Anubis makes sense. The ecosystem relies on death, oddly enough. So, that makes sense. I don't understand why the security AI would be called Chernobog, though. Maybe it's me not completely understanding the mythology behind Chernobog, because I'm going to be honest with you, this is one of those mythologies. I know a lot of mythology. This is one of those mythologies I'm not super knowledgeable on. I don't really know why Chernobog would be responsible for global security. That seems more like just a stupid thing to do, if anything. Why would you name the security AI after a mythology's equivalent of the devil?
I mean, perhaps so that, like, in universe, it's seen as, like, an imposing thing that you don't want to, like, defy.
Okay.
Maybe, where it's like, if you make people fear Chernobog, the god AI, it's better able to do its job. Because it's like, if it wants to maintain global security, well, then it's kind of useful for people to fear it, in a sense.
Huh.
Maybe that's the idea behind it.
That's an unbelievably stupid idea. That's like, that is literally, oh my god, that is like literally the people behind the god AIs being like, yeah, no, we just want Skynet.
Yeah, but as long as Skynet is like being controlled properly, then like,
Well, evidently they
I mean,
evolved.
fear is a great deterrent.
Yeah.
So like maybe that's the idea.
But my understanding is that the god AIs were designed to like prevent bad things. So,
Well, yeah, and if people are afraid of it, they're not going to do bad things because they don't want to get smited by Chernobog.
okay, that's fair. I don't know. Maybe I have too much of like an Optimus Prime sort of view on this thing, where it's like fear is a terrible way to rule.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just trying to say what maybe the thought process there is.
No, I get you. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I wonder if that means we'll get a map in Helsinki.
Yeah, so this was the other thing. The new map they teased, one of the two maps that's coming out this year, Japan, and the other one was Iceland, according to the concept art.
Well, that's
which
not...
doesn't line up with being Finland.
Yeah, that's not Finland.
But the image of it is like a maximum security like dam or prison or something with like a giant robot, like the corpse of like a giant Titan-sized robot like laying against the wall, like it had either attempted to siege the place and had been killed or something. And like maybe that's alluding to like, you know, how Anubis has the big pyramid that it's trapped in as a prison.
Yeah.
Maybe Chernobog is in something similar in Finland, but then it says it's Iceland. So I don't know if that's like, I don't know why they call it Iceland if it's supposed to be Chernobog in Finland, unless it was transported to Iceland because Iceland is like more isolated and like a quarantine area.
That's actually what I was just thinking. Maybe Chernobog was quickly identified as dangerous after being activated. And then they basically were like, shit, and shut the thing down and trapped it in like a maximum security system facility in Iceland. Like that's the best thing I can think of.
According to the wiki, Chernobog was shut down after Anubis went rogue, but Chernobog had not gone rogue. But they shut it down out of fear that it would go rogue the same way Anubis had. And so technically it was never evil during its time active, but it was shut down out of fear that it would follow the same path that was Anubis. And before it was shut down, it used the last of its processing power to like basically print a bunch of instructions for humans to utilize for like security after it was shut down. So like it died doing like a final thing to help the humans in a sense.
Interesting. Okay.
So, as opposed to like going out in any sort of like villainous way, the way Anubis went.
Okay, so maybe Chernobog...
Granted, it was manually shut down by people, so like, you know.
Yeah.
But either way, it feels like it's depicted far more of like a benevolent god AI in the context of the Overwatch universe.
So maybe Chernobog isn't... Maybe the conspiracy isn't so much evil as a... Because, I mean, it sounds like if Chernobog is doing what it's doing, it has to have reactivated. Like, there's no way... Because, like, I think my thought process is, like, if Anubis was able to do what it did, I don't know if it's that much of a stretch to say maybe Chernobog could just reactivate itself.
Well, also, I don't remember how did Anubis interact with Aurora's gifting of sentience to the Omnics? That happened later. But Anubis wasn't dead at that point. Anubis was always alive throughout the duration of that. But did Anubis gain anything from it? Because I'm wondering, did Chernobog gain sentience when Aurora sacrificed herself and thus wake back up, so to say.
Oh.
But at that point, it had already been locked down and quarantined to the point where it's like, oh, well, I woke up, but I woke up in a dark, silent prison.
Right.
This sucks.
No,
I don't know. I don't know how the God programs reacted to all that.
Well, how many are there?
I want to say like 4.
Really? Only 4?
I'd have to double check.
Okay. Because I know of 3: Athena, Anubis, and Chernobog.
So Athena's not actually a God program.
She's not?
No. So so there's 4 known God programs: Anubis, Chernobog, then Macaria, which is in Connecticut, and Xibalba, which is in Mexico.
Oh my god!
I don't know what that is, but
in Connecticut. Oh my god! Why? Why Connecticut? What the fuck is in Connecticut? Except a lot of Italians.
Primary focus was communication equity. That's all it says about Macaria, the one in Connecticut.
I could drive 4 hours and go meet a God program. Interesting. I could go visit my family and it'd be next door to a God program. Man, that's weird. I had no idea about that. That'd be like you dropping like, yeah, it was just in Boston. Huh? Okay. There's no major cities in Connecticut. Like, Helsinki is a pretty major city. I imagine the Mexico one is in Mexico City, which is a huge city.
Yeah, it is. And
Cairo is the biggest city in Africa.
Specifically, Macaria is in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
It's in Bridgeport? No fucking way.
I don't know anything about Bridgeport. I don't know why that would be significant for something like this, but that's apparently where it is.
I thought it would be in New York. That'd make way more sense.
No.
Bridgeport is like, it's just like a city. Like it's I go there when I go there on the train when I go to visit my uncle. Like it's not a particularly nice city either. It's just sort of a city. There's nothing remarkable about it.
I feel like this might be an instance of one of the writers was from Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Yeah.
And so when they're making up these like kind of pointless other god AIs, they're like, oh, what if one was from Bridgeport?
Oh my god.
That's the sort of vibe I'm getting from this.
That's fucking weird. Okay. All right. Whatever. Sure. The god AI from Bridgeport, Connecticut. My dear god. Okay. Getting back on topic. Yeah, I'm thinking like, because Chernobog does sound benevolent, despite the name. It sounds like it at least initially was benevolent.
Well, they were all designed to initially be benevolent,
well, yeah,
but
I know
then
that.
Anubis went rogue. But like, there was never a point prior to its shutdown where Chernobog was like rogue the way Anubis was.
Well, to be fair, as I mentioned, Anubis went rogue as a result of its assigned role.
Yes.
So there was nothing to incentivize the others to go rogue.
Not yet,
Not
at
yet,
least.
at
Perhaps they would have eventually ended up at that same point via their own assignments. It's just Anubis happened to reach its first.
Okay. Well, it's interesting, the thing about Aurora. Yeah, because I believe the implication is that the god AIs were sentient from the get-go. Which is kind of weird, because I thought the idea was that sentience in machines only actually existed after Aurora, or with Aurora.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have to read up more on the god programs to get a better idea. Because Aurora herself was like heralded as like the first effectively human
AI.
machine.
Yeah.
So like the god programs presumably then weren't that. They were probably more like supercomputer type things. Because they also didn't have like physical bodies in like they weren't like something that could walk around like a person.
Well,
and like current Omnics can.
I don't think that's a prerequisite.
No, but in terms of like them being like people in that sense.
Oh,
I think they're more in the idea behind them is that they're more so just like a super intelligent thing. They're like HAL
okay.
in Space Odyssey. Like I think it's probably more something like that.
So they
So
they
like,
are sentient.
is HAL sentient?
Yeah, I believe that was the idea.
Yeah, the idea is that he is, but then he also had the idea of, in order for the mission to succeed, you almost die, which very similar to Anubis, actually.
Yeah, that's why I said. I mean, it's obvious that they got inspiration from other stuff for the God AIs. Okay, interesting. Because I mean, obviously these are different media franchises, but it's not unusual for an AI that doesn't have a body, quote unquote, to still be sentient.
Mm-hmm.
Or
but I think it's the difference
human
of like, but it's the difference, I would say, of like, is this thing a member of society the way Omnics currently are?
Right. Okay.
I don't know if it is.
I see what you
mean. It's very similar to iRobot,
Mm.
with like Sunny is
Yeah.
like the Aurora, and then Anubis is whatever the name of the big AI that
That's right.
turns all the other robots.
That's right. Man, I haven't seen that movie in years. Okay. Interesting. So maybe what happened, because it's what it sounds like is Emre just traveled all over the place. So maybe he ended up in I don't know, Reykjavik, and got infected or like put on armor that fucked them up, that was infested by or like controlled by Chernobog. I have no idea. But what it makes me wonder is Chernobog still benevolent, and it's just coming across as malevolent, or
Yeah, I think that's the thing that I think we don't know yet. And I think is what we're going to have to wait for more stuff to come out to figure out.
Because the conspiracy comes across as malevolent. But
it does, but what has it actually done?
It controls
so far?
everything. It controls everything.
Everything. But does it like actually?
My understanding is that it has influence over, basically, based on what Sombra has implied, it sounds like the conspiracy has control over some level of control over like major global corporations and like governments, to some degree. So, I don't know. We'll have to learn more. My point is, the original point of all of this is that Emre speaks Finnish when he ults.
Yes.
That's what we wanted to talk about. We can speculate all we want another time, I guess, but all very interesting. I learned that a god AI lives in Bridgeport, Connecticut. That's going to stick with me for the rest of the day, maybe the rest of the week. Okay. Next thing to talk about. Cosmetics. So, there was... a while ago, they revealed these skins in a survey called Voidwalker. And one of the skins, or two of this, I think the idea is that 3 of them are being implemented, right? Looks like 3 of them are.
I think it's, yeah, Ash, Venture, and Sigma.
Ash? I thought it was Echo.
Oh, Echo does have one too. Ash does have one, though. We can see it in the trailer.
Oh, interesting. So Ash, Echo...
So 4, I guess.
Ash, Echo, Venture, and Sigma. My point is that the Sigma one is basically the exact skin that I've wanted ever since Sigma was released, because it very much emphasizes the like Eldritch side of Sigma. And they finally revealed that it's coming next, this upcoming season, so Tuesday. And I'm extremely excited because I have been anticipating this skin for a very long time. Last season, I guess still this season, I specifically unlocked the cosmic weapon skin or galactic weapon skin for Sigma in anticipation that one day this skin would be added, not knowing if it actually would, just like in anticipation that it would be added one day, and like, goddamn, did my gamble pay off. Wow. I didn't expect it to be literally the next season. I was like, it might come out in like a year or something, but no, literally like the next season. So that's wild. I haven't seen the Echo and the Ash one. I've seen the Venture one. It's pretty fun. It's a funky looking one. It seems like the Sigma one is the only one, as far as I can tell, with like the really Eldritch vibe. Because like the Venture one seems more kind of goofy,
Yeah.
but then again, it's Venture, so that obviously I would almost argue Sigma and Venture have like opposite vibes. Sigma is not goofy. Well, he can be goofy, but he's the vibe of Sigma is the opposite of goofy. That's all I wanted to bring up. I'm just excited about that. Next thing, okay. Do we want actually? If we're gonna start on the story, if we're talking cosmetics, maybe we should talk about the collabs and the loot boxes and the mythics and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, we should talk about that. There's a Hello Kitty collab. I don't think that's something that appeals to either of us here, but it does exist. Okay, I don't know. That's good.
Yeah, it's incredibly popular with the people that are into it.
Yeah.
So like, I'm happy for them.
I got nothing to say otherwise. I won't be buying them, but I know people who would. Loot box pool. I kind of don't really understand what's going on with it, but people seem happy.
Yeah, they're updating it so that it has everything from the previous 6 seasons now added to it, which is the past year, which is the stuff that wasn't previously in the loot pool.
Seasons?
So now it is.
Do you mean like shop skins?
Yeah, shop skins specifically. Not battle pass, not collabs, not mythics.
All right. Interesting. Okay, that like has very little effect on me, but all right. Speaking of mythics, we officially have a repeat mythic skin, and as you would expect, it's Mercy. It was either going to be Mercy or Kiriko.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I kind of have your position. I'm not surprised. I'm just disappointed.
I'm not even disappointed. Like, it was so inevitable that like it is what it is. That's how this works. Like, of course they're going to give the super popular hero another mythic skin.
Here's my hope. My hope is that one of the mythic skins each season will be always for a hero that doesn't have one yet.
I'm willing to bet that's what they do.
Okay. If that's what they do, I'll find that acceptable. As long as they literally just have the philosophy of only this pool of heroes will ever get mythic skins, I can live with it. I don't care if it takes a really long time for Zarya to get a mythic skin. I just want it to happen eventually. That's sort of my thoughts on it. So, yeah, it's kind of lame, but it's just another aspect of a system I hate. There you go. It's not nurturing any goodwill with me, but not much that this game does that anyways, so I guess I'll live with it. So that's the cosmetics. There really wasn't much to talk about. I've seen people talk about like how ugly the Talon skins are, like the new ones.
Oh, they're hideous.
I kind of have no opinion on them. I'm just like okay, whatever, sure. The only one I'm going to be interested in is the Malga one. Actually, no, I might get the Emery one, the Emery and the Vendetta ones. So, yeah, I might actually get those, but because like the Vendetta skin I use now is just the default one, which is like not a bad thing. I like Vendetta's default design, but it'd be cool to have like a more armored up gladiator look. And I still just use the red like basic skin for Malga after all these years. So Because, like, they just haven't released a skin I like more, other than Tropical, which I haven't been able to get. So, whatever. Okay. I guess we should talk about... What, cinematics next? We can talk about the story stuff.
Are we ready for that?
Do you think we should maybe save that for last?
Uh,
Maybe we should go over...
yeah, let's save it for last.
Okay. They now have the post-match accolades, and they're adding a praise communication.
I think those are good.
Those are good.
The accolades, I think, are like a nice thing. It's basically just voting from Overwatch 1,
Yeah.
but like in a new version.
The end match cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fine.
I like it.
I like it. Apparently, they're going to add a feature where you can talk to everyone. Do you hear about this?
I don't remember hearing about it.
Yeah, get this. You can opt out of it, but during the post-match accolades, it's going to open up the voice chat to the entire lobby.
Hell yeah. It's 2004 all over again, baby.
I was just gonna say, this is gonna be a 2007 Halo 3 lobby. Holy shit. The slew of slurs that are gonna be slung.
It's gonna be beautiful.
Oh, it's gonna be horrific. I guarantee you, the number of players who get banned is going to, like, increase by orders of magnitude because of this.
It's gonna be great.
I can almost guarantee you, it's gonna be chaos. I'm going to hear people say unrepeatable things and just have to live with it. Granted, I lived with it back in the day when I was like 8 years old, so I can do it at 25. But yeah, no, I learned so many bad words as a kid through like Xbox Live. It's just that unlike most kids my age, I realized that these words should not be said, so I didn't say them. I just never told my parents I knew what these words are. They still don't know. I think. But yeah, that's gonna be crazy. I'm excited for the praise option. I've seen some people come up with some pretty sus suggestions for voice lines for praise, but I don't think Blizzard will actually do it, but maybe they will. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay. So that's that. Post-match accolades, all very fun. Is it like replacing the end match, like where it shows your entire team like standing and posing? Is that the idea?
I don't know. I don't know if it's replacing it or if it's just going to come after that.
I would prefer it just comes after it, but
yeah, I feel like that's probably how it's going to work.
Okay, well that's fine. New maps. So we have two new maps,
thereof,
or lack thereof. So we have only 2 maps announced to be releasing this year, which is the Japanese one and what was the other one?
Iceland.
Iceland was one of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about the Iceland one just because of the lore. We've had...
Well, that one's definitely coming later, because that one's not even on the roadmap. They've just, like, announced it.
Okay.
So first we're going to get the Japanese map, which is Tokyo, and is directly tied to the Hashimoto and everything that's happening with that plot point, because that's also when we're going to get the new Hashimoto hero.
I'm bored of Japan in this setting. Like, how many fucking times? Like,
yeah.
What do we have Hanaoka, we have Kanezaka, we have Hanamura, and now we have... Literally, all 4 of these maps are just Tokyo. They're just different parts of Tokyo. Like, there's different...
No. Hanamura, I believe, is Kyoto.
You literally see Mount Fuji in the background. It's Tokyo.
Is this supposed to be Tokyo?
Yes, you literally can see Mount Fuji.
I guess Tokyo is pretty big. There's a lot of different districts in it.
Tokyo is enormous. It's the biggest city on Earth, but like, yeah, all four of these maps are just Tokyo. Like, there's other parts of Japan. If we really want to do Japan that much, there are other places in Japan. It would be fun to have like an Okinawa map. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. That'd be cool. Like a tropical island.
But nobody would be able to recognize it as being Japan if they couldn't immediately see Mount Fuji.
What are you talking? Oh God. Okay. Okay. Whatever. Listen. I don't try to assume how much people understand about geography. I understand I have an unusual amount of knowledge on it. I'm not going to assume everyone understands what Okinawa is. So, fine. If the only way they can... I mean, it's a stupid thing to think the only way they can communicate something's in Japan is if Mount Fuji is there, but okay, if that's the logic
I
they want to
suppose
use.
they could still have it raining cherry blossoms.
I mean, you can't see...
that would be the other way to communicate.
You can't see Mount Fuji in Kanazaka.
Mm.
You can't.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Wait, you said you can't or you can?
You cannot.
You sure about that?
I'm almost certain.
But it's literally beneath Hanamura. Is it because it's on the other side of Hanamura? Is Hanamura blocking Fuji?
I would have to think. Because like I
don't remember.
I know that there's that place where you can like look out, but I don't remember Mount Fuji being there. I don't know.
I seem to remember you can see Fuji, but I would have to like go in game to check again.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. So those are the maps. The thing that is also worth mentioning, because like I'm gonna be completely honest with you, unlike you, I kind of don't give a shit if new maps are added or not. I'm
desperate for new maps.
I like when they're added, but for me, what is nice about new maps is less so, oh, there's a new map, and more, we get to see a new location. Like, that's what I like. I don't particularly care about what the map is, or really that much how it's designed, as long as it's not terrible. But for the most part, the reason I enjoy new maps is because, oh, hey, we get to see this part of the world. That's why I like them. And that's also why I get disappointed when it's just like, oh, Japan for the 4th time, or Tokyo for the 4th time. It's like, fuck. Like, you couldn't do Taiwan? Like, I don't know. Like, there's other... There's fucking...
Do you need to ask why they can't do
Okay, that's actually true. They can't do Taiwan. That's true. They can't do Taiwan. You are so right. They can't do Taiwan. But I don't know. There's, like, interesting places there. There's, like... Heck, you could do the Philippines. The Philippines would be cool. You got Southeast Asia. You got like, heck, make a map in Guam. Like, why not? That'd be interesting.
Eco Point Galapagos.
But that's nowhere near Japan. But yeah, Eco Point Galapagos.
No, I'm just talking about anywhere else. Like, not even Asia. Like, just anywhere.
Yeah,
interesting that we haven't been to yet.
I've said this before. I would love a map set in Anchorage.
Yeah.
Like, Anchorage would be so interesting. I'd also obviously would be like, oh, I'd love a Boston map, but like, I don't know how likely that is. Yeah, I think Anchorage would make a really cool map. Anyways, yeah, that's that. We also have the whole Atlantic arcology thing, which it sounds like has been Thanos snapped.
It's been Gothenburged. I fully believe that arcology was going to be a Clash map, but since Clash is now written off as a failed mode, they've just written that off too.
That's so sad.
No more arcology.
That's so sad. I want them to make a map with that location, because the way it's described in the Lifeweaver short story is incredibly interesting. Like, that is a location that 100% deserves a map. So I really hope that at some point they rework the map, Just like I hope
They'll add it as a stadium map eventually, I'm sure.
or something like that. Yeah, that'd be nice. But yeah, that's that. Isn't that crazy? This never used to happen. Just modes are released and just are eventually written off. Like that didn't even happen with 2CP until literally the transition to Overwatch 2. Like,
But like, still,
people didn't like 2CP, but they still kept it. It's just like this is so bizarre to me. The idea that we've reached the point where there's like I don't know if it's like a QA problem or what, but like the fact that it feels unfathomable to me that they can spend this much time on a mode and release it and have it be in such a state that it's so hated that they eventually have to remove it. That's ridiculous. Like that would have been unthinkable in like 2017.
At the same time, I think I would rather they remove something if it's hated that much than not.
I agree. But I'm just saying, like, that sort of like fumble just feels like it would have been unthinkable in 2017.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I've said this before. I don't think this is not the same quality of this game is not the level of quality it was once upon a time. It just isn't. And that sucks. Anyways, that's the maps. We now have the new UI thing, which I think is ugly as sin. It's like,
it just looks like a mobile game.
It just looks like a mobile game. It's like
it's Mobile Watch.
It's just ugly. It sucks. I don't
It's
understand.
generic.
It's generic. Like the Overwatch main menu is famous. Like is it like a masterpiece of like UX? No. But it is famous and like recognizable. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all part of just the modernization of the game.
Which is
games these days have mobile game menus and UIs.
Modern games these days are 80% slop.
Yes. And you hide the slop with a cleverly designed UI.
It's just nice things don't happen anymore.
No.
Not in the gaming industry.
No, there are no more nice things.
There are no more nice things. The only nice things are like single player games, or mostly single player games. There's no nice things happen in the live service side of things. I literally think the model is antithetical to it. It's just like it's such a soulless model that like eventually it was always going to be this way, that nothing good comes out of it. It's so fucked. That's that.
Yeah, there's like not anything else to say other than it just looks bad.
It sucks. Yeah,
it looks bad, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. Do you know what team you're gonna work for yet? I already know what I'm gonna work for.
For me, it's gonna depend what the rewards are.
Well, for me, it's easy. It's gonna be Talon because most of the characters I play are Talon or affiliated or that like side of the moral spectrum. So, yeah, it's weird. The only heroic character I think I really play is, let's see, Ramatra isn't, Vendetta isn't, Domina isn't. Eventually, when she comes out,
Sigma isn't.
Sigma is like neutral. He's just sort of
Bastion.
I don't play Bastion anymore.
Ah, so tragic.
Torbjorn is the one. Torbjorn's the one. Because Junker.
Would you consider
Junker Queen
Kiriko?
Kiriko is performatively nice. Kiriko in this context of the Overwatch storyline is a good person. Is like a heroine. In real life, Kiriko would be an annoying piece of shit that like is like probably morally gray and leans towards decent person. I guess. Yeah, isn't that interesting? It's the same way in Smash Bros. I always end up playing like villain characters. I don't know why. That's not intentional. It's just like it just ends up that way. I can see myself playing Jetpack Cat. That's a good character, apparently. So, yeah, I don't know. Because I'm gonna play Emre, and that's also not a good character. I don't know why I'm like this. Why am I like this, Ian?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you're drawn towards certain aspects of characters that tend to often be on the villain side.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm the opposite. I tend to prefer heroes, but like I don't think I'm as strictly like bound to one side or the other.
I don't try to be. I just end up that way. So that's weird. Yeah. So that is that. I'm gonna be picking the Talon side because I saw the cosmetics for it, and I'm like, yeah. They like a lot of people think they're ugly, and I think they tend to be ugly, but there are a few of them that I want. Because what? There's like 5 or something.
You're talking about the skins?
Yeah.
The skins, I don't think are part of that. Those are in the battle pass.
Oh, okay.
I think it's only like player icons and sprays and like loot boxes you get from.
Oh, then I've misunderstood. I literally have no idea which team I'm picking then.
Yeah, it's like I don't think they've shown all the cosmetics for either side yet. They've just shown like a quick like sampling.
Got it.
And yeah, it's just like a bunch of player icon stuffs.
All right.
Like there might be skins in there because there's that one new era Brig skin that I don't think we know how you get that yet. That might be like a hero side reward, which if it is, I'm definitely going with Overwatch then.
Did you see helmetless Genji? Modern helmetless Genji?
Yeah, with like the jaw.
The robo jaw? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I think that's another one of the battle pass ones.
Yeah, that's pretty weird. I actually kind of like it. I think it looks cool. So, speaking of Talon and Overwatch, I think we now have to reach the inevitable. Let's talk about... Do you want to talk about the cinematics first? The cinematic first? Or do you want to talk about, like, the yearly arcs and, like, the chapters and lore development? Like,
I feel like it might make more sense to talk about the cinematic, because that leads into the yearly arc stuff.
Fair enough. Okay. So, if you've lived under a rock, for the first time since Kiriko... You don't see the look on my face right now as I say that, but there is a look on my face. For the first time since Kiriko, there has been a new proper Overwatch cinematic released. You know, like the ones that we used to get.
Technically, Sojourns was the most recent.
Was it? Oh, maybe it was.
Like yeah.
Okay.
Because that was when Invasion happened.
Well, I guess it just wasn't memorable enough.
But either way, nobody remembers the Sojourns.
It's been a while.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we finally got one, and I have mixed thoughts. I think most people have mixed thoughts. On one hand, it's wonderful to see this again. I can't complain that this is back. The fact that this is back and back on the table is a wonderful thing. That much I can't deny. The contents of this short, though, I have not so good thoughts on. Because I think, like, to be fair, the cinematic itself acknowledges this fact. But, like, they have taken a character that has come out of nowhere and in 2 months made her supposedly the biggest bad in the series. Like, capable of defeating Doomfist, despite the fact that she is, like, just coming out of nowhere. And to be fair, I give the cinematic credit for, like, acknowledging that, but doesn't work. Doesn't mean it works.
Yeah, just because you acknowledge the flaw doesn't mean it's not still a flaw.
Exactly. I found that cinematic so... Okay, here's the thing. Every cinematic before Kiriko, right? Every cinematic before Kiriko elicited an emotional reaction, right? The Kiriko one, I guess, elicited a emotional reaction in more of a, like, what the fuck is this? And not the Venture one, the Sojourner one is so forgettable. It did nothing. It got nothing out of me. I would say that this cinematic is closer to the Kiriko one, in that, yeah, it got emotions out of me, but not anything super strong. And most of them were more along the lines of, like, what the hell is this? What the fuck? Why is this lady able to just beat Doomfist? It makes no sense. And also, for some reason, the polish seems, like, slightly off. Like, I can't put my finger on it. Something just feels off. There's, like, a level of refinement that is, like, missing, that I feel like I would have to go back and watch the old cinematics to really put words to. But maybe I'm imagining it. Other than that, this was a really sort of, like, I'm not going to say it's a nothing burger, because the events are very consequential, but it was not written well. It was just sort of, oh, she's in the morgue, and she's, like, talking about how sad she is, and then there's, like, and then it just cuts to the Talon HQ, and Doomfist is sitting there menacingly looking out a window, and I don't know, this Vendetta just, like, shows up, and Doomfist is like, you stupid little fuck, what do you think you can do against me? And, like, realistically, yeah, that is the attitude he should have. And then, who is it? It's, like, Max, Reaper, Widow, Sombra, Moira, and was there one other?
Malga,
yeah. So they were like talking with Doomfist, and then they see this fight happen, and I don't know, it was like the lamest shit ever. Like, I think you and I agree, the second that Vendetta swung that sword and Doomfist caught it, that fight should have been over.
Yeah, no, it should have been over. That was the best moment in the entire thing, because it was Doomfist, the character we know and love, doing something cool.
It was Doomfist doing Doomfist things.
Yes, Doomfist being Doomfist, which we've been waiting to see more of forever.
Like, that, because it has the same vibe as his animation of, like, him calculating perfectly and ripping the chronal accelerator off of Tracer. Like, it has that same vibe of just, like, he's huge and he's ultra powerful, but he's also extremely precise in calculating, which is terrifying.
Right, because he catches a sword. He catches the swing of the sword by the blade. That is very comparable to grabbing Tracer's chronal accelerator, where it's like, it's not like he blocked it. It's not like he punched her. It's not like he dodged. He just caught you just, like, caught a baseball someone threw at you.
Yeah.
Like, like, that's Doomfist. That's, like, what he does, which is why he's so amazing.
Yeah, and
then it all went downhill from there.
Yep. Doomfist did his thing. He aura farmed for, a scene. And then, he got, like, written into defeat.
And then they wrote the intelligence out of him in the following seconds.
He, like, this was wild. He slams Vendetta against the, like, console. And this is the same man who apparently can track a ninja and a woman who can teleport. But he can't track a woman with a giant sword? Like, what? This man seems like a computer with how precisely he can track an opponent. Like freakishly capable.
Well, he is a cyborg, technically.
He is a cyborg.
So that might be part of it.
But, like, there is no way in hell that this guy would lose track of Vendetta in his own office. Like, There's no way that would happen. But sure enough, he like stands there and doesn't try to punch and just fires his hand cannons, and Vendetta like runs around him slashing at him, and he just kind of takes it. It's I don't know.
As a fight, it was incredibly weak.
Yeah.
Doomfist gets his punch in, and then Vendetta flips it and then just mops the floor with him. There's no fight there. It's just one way, then the other way. It's done. And like, I mean, we can get into the overarching issue here now, which is that this on paper could have worked just fine. The two major issues is that, one, Vendetta is not established and built up enough as a character for this scene, for this cinematic, to carry the weight it needed to carry for something like this. Because we just don't care enough about Vendetta. By virtue of her being too new of a character, we haven't seen enough of her, we don't know enough about her. Everything we do know about her, we've been told, not shown. So there is no weight to her toppling Doomfist, because we don't know what she's capable of. And then the fight itself isn't even a satisfying fight, because there's no combat happening. It's just, I swing at you, you swing at me a couple times, and it's done. Right. If it had actually been a fight, where there was a back and forth, and we could see the exertion being put into it by both Vendetta and Doomfist, that would have been a little bit, not enough for what it should be, but at least a little bit of showing on the Vendetta side of things to show what she's capable of, instead of only having previously been told what she's capable of. And it would have felt a little bit better, and at least cinematically, as like a thing to watch, it would have been more enjoyable because, hey, a cool fight.
Right.
But they just didn't do that. This whole cinematic, to me, the whole cinematic was extremely utilitarian. In order to advance the story the way they want to advance it, Vendetta needs to dethrone Doomfist. Like, that is just something that must be done in order to start the story that they're starting with this next season, that we saw in the comic that came out after Spotlight. And the position Blizzard was in is like, Doomfist is in the way from like a narrative standpoint. We need to just get him out of the way. We could spend weeks, months, who knows how much money and like animation budget on like building up this confrontation between Vendetta and Doomfist to be like an actually interesting encounter. Or we can just tank this bullet of knowing this cinematic's going to be bad and that nobody's going to like it, but it does the necessary narrative purpose of getting Doomfist out of the way, so they can just be like, all right, slate is wiped clean. We're where we need to be now. Now we can start doing story in like a good story way.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the problem is that I think on a fundamental level, Vendetta should not be able to defeat Doomfist in a like a head-on 1v1. I think that
from what we know of her, correct. Like, we've seen no reason to believe she would be able to do that, other than them just telling us she's strong and she's gotten powerful.
Yeah, and I think for me, the only way this could have worked is if Doomfist got outmaneuvered. I think is the only way I would have seen this as like not only serving its purpose and being satisfying, but being appropriate for Doomfist's character. I think the only way this could have felt right to me is if somehow his office was like bugged or something, or like it was booby-trapped or something like that, and Vendetta knew about it and Doomfist didn't, and that way she would win. Because my understanding is that Vendetta doesn't particularly give a shit unlike Doomfist, Vendetta doesn't particularly give a shit about like an honorable one-on-one. She just wants the results. Like Doomfist is an idealist, whereas Vendetta is a pragmatist. So Doomfist, I don't think would ever do something like that. And while he might expect something like that, I don't think he would expect it from like one of his own inner circle per se. I think the only way this could have happened is if like a trap was set and Vendetta like set it on him, and then he was like, maybe his gauntlet was like shut down, or like his cybernetics were compromised and he couldn't fight as well, and that's how she wins. Because my understanding is Vendetta doesn't have any cybernetics, unlike Doomfist. I think that's the only way I could have seen this working. Is like there like an electric field or something is emitted in the office that like fucks up Doomfist's cybernetics, and because Vendetta doesn't have any, she can defeat him. Like that's the only thing I think would have worked for me. I don't think there was any situation in which they just had a straight head-on 1v1 where Vendetta wins, where I would be like, nah, that makes sense. Because I think Doomfist has always been characterized as like physically being just entirely in his own bracket. And even compared to like Reinhardt, like he's just in his own bracket. And so I don't even Mauga, like they kind of hint at that, right? In an interaction where it's like Mauga thinks that Doomfist is like relying too much on the gauntlet, and maybe that actually could be what they play on. Like maybe he does rely too much on the gauntlet, and that's why he fucks up when the cybernetics are shut down. But like the implication with that interaction is that like Doomfist doesn't need the gauntlet to like fuck up Mauga, which is crazy. So that's sort of my thoughts on it. I don't think there was ever a world where we just saw Vendetta walk in and pull out her sword, and Doomfist like just ready his gauntlet, and they fight, and Doomfist loses, and I'm like, that's cool. I don't know about you, but like I don't think it matters how much they set her up, other than like if they set her up as like setting up a trap, and that's part of her setup, is like how she's pragmatic and doesn't care about like an honorable 1v1. That's the only way it would work for me.
I like that would work, setting up a trap. That feels kind of out of character for Vendetta though, because like she feels like less of like a plotter and a schemer than Doomfist.
That's true.
She's more like building up connections through like exhibiting her own value and prowess. So her setting a trap, I feel like, would necessitate the involvement of a different character, like Maximilian or Sombra or someone.
Exactly what I was thinking, yeah.
Which, would have probably been a more interesting way to do that. I mean, I also, I disagree with you insofar as I think we could have had just a straight physical 1v1 between Vendetta and Doomfist where Vendetta wins, but that would have required building up Vendetta as a character that we can believe would defeat Doomfist, because we know what Doomfist is capable of. We don't know what Vendetta is capable of. But if they had shown us what Vendetta was capable of, and it turns out she's capable of comparable things as Doomfist, then we could have had a cool battle between them, where if they'd both, like, Doomfist is already built. If they had built Vendetta specifically to the point where she feels comparable in power level to Doomfist, which could have been done, it's their own character in their own world. They can do whatever they want to build up a character. They can make her built up to feel comparable to Doomfist. But they have to show us that instead of just vaguely telling us she's powerful and then pitting them against each other. It's entirely the fact that they did not show us any reason to believe Vendetta would be capable of taking down Doomfist in the way she took him down. Right. That is the crux of the issue. They could have worked around it in a number of ways. They could have used a clever trap, as you suggested. They could have made the fight itself longer and more drawn out and in depth, where it shows what Vendetta is capable of in the fight itself. Or they could have done that ahead of time through other means, showing her fight characters who we understand the quote-unquote power levels of, because her fighting a giant Omnic in her origin cinematic, the giant spider robot thing with the drones, it's like, we don't know how strong that is.
Right.
Like, is her killing that significant? Like, could Tracer kill that thing? Could Reinhardt kill that thing? We don't know, because we don't know what it is. We've never seen it before. We've never seen it since. But if we had interact, and like outside of that, her only thing is holding like a sword to Maximilian's throat. Oh, wow. Like, defeating Maximilian in a physical fight, that tells us nothing. Anyone could do that. Like, if we had seen her fight something we understood the, like, power level of, that would better gauge, like, oh, she's actually really strong. If we'd seen her fight someone from Overwatch, which, like, contextually, I don't know how they would have done that, to be fair, but the issue is they just didn't build her up. They didn't establish her as a character sufficiently beforehand, because all they did was tell us she's strong without showing us what that actually means.
Okay.
Until now, apparently, the only time they're going to show us anything for her is when they show her taking out Doomfist. And so it's like, okay, now we can understand her power level. But you squandered her taking down Doomfist because we didn't know what she could do going into that.
Right. I don't know. It's like, it seems like a situation. Maybe this is just a disagreement on like how Doomfist should be treated as a character. But yeah, it would have been not as satisfying to me, but I don't know. I don't think I would have hated it, at least.
I also don't appreciate how they utterly disrespected Doomfist even beyond being defeated, where after his arm gets cut off, he just like loses his mind and goes like rah and like jumps at her, and then she turns. It's like, okay, well that's just not Doomfist. Like,
right, that's just not Doomfist.
That is just a character assassination.
Right.
That's not even poor storytelling and an issue of showing versus telling. That's just character assassinating Doomfist. Like,
right. No, that's exactly what it is.
Like, that was egregious.
Okay. Well then, next up, we have the chapters stuff. How do you want to talk about this?
Well, I guess we can segue it off of the cinematic, in that the cinematic was done in the way they did it to get Doomfist out of the way so they could start telling the story going forward, which is Vendetta becoming an evil dictator, I guess, and taking over the world.
Essentially.
Like, I guess that's what she's doing. Yeah, because now she's like getting all these factions together and trying to form like a, I don't know, like a Talon coalition with like the Junkers and the Deadlock Gang and the Hashimoto, just to build her new empire. And it seems like at least for the first like roughly half, maybe probably 2/3 of like this year's arc is going to involve her bringing together all those factions. Because we see from the roadmap that's come out that first we're going to have Deadlock with everything going on at Grand Mesa. Then we're going to have the Hashimoto in Japan, and then probably the Junkers will be season 4.
Right.
And this is going to be just the building of her empire into what? We don't really know yet. We don't know what exactly is being like built towards exactly.
Yeah, this is my question. And this is something I don't think we really even understand that well about Vendetta. What is the end goal? Like, what is the means to an end that like the Empire is for her? Is it just like, Is it literally just like to have power for the sake of power, or is she like Doom? Because it doesn't seem like she has anything like Doomfist, where it's like the greater purpose of like having the world be destroyed is like to help humanity, which is what Doomfist thinks. Is Vendetta literally just like, I want to rule the world because I want to rule the world? Which is, if that's the case, that's lame.
I think that's what it is. More so, I think it's I want to rule the world because it's my right to rule the world.
Which is lame. Like, it's just, that makes no sense.
Kinda, yeah. Like, that is just, like, objectively less interesting than Doomfist's ideology and position.
Yeah.
If I may add something, I
Highness.
feel like it might be because she had a vendetta against someone.
Yeah. Also, Highness.
I'm sick as a fucking dog.
This is the first time we've ever had someone pop in mid-recording.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a mid-episode intro.
Mid-episode intro. Hey guys, I'm sick as a dog.
Say hi, Ness, yeah. This is unplanned, but if you have anything to add, you're welcome to stay.
I might just be like hanging back a little because, as I said, I'm not well.
Okay, that works. Okay. Well, moving on to the chapters system.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. It's exciting that we're just guaranteed story content now. But, like, do we know what form it's going to take?
We don't. We don't know what form it's going to take. We don't know how frequent it's going to be, other than that each season seems to be hitting a different story beat. But, like, I find this point in time to be very exciting because Blizzard is massively shifting what they're doing, and we don't know how it's going to manifest. Like, we don't know what it actually is going to end up entailing going a year with, like, the 6 seasons that are each, like, a story plot point.
Right.
Is it going to be, like, a comic per season? Is it going to be a cinematic per season? Is it going to be a cinematic per year? I think that's more likely, but...
If it's just, like, a comic per season, like a single comic per season, just, like, JPEGs and voices, I don't think this is going to land the way they think it is.
Well, that's the thing. Like, this is a soft reboot of Overwatch. This is Overwatch 3. They're just not calling it that. So right now, it makes sense for them to present the image of, like, this is it. The story's going to be epic. We're resetting things. We're killing Doomfist. Vendetta's the new big
Killing
threat.
Doomfist with big-ass quotation marks, yeah.
Yeah, we're getting all the hype up. But this is still Blizzard we're talking about. And Blizzard has a track record, especially in the past decade or so. They haven't been great at telling stories. So, I don't know. Have they actually changed and we're going to get actual story and development of things over this next year, focusing on a plot point where Vendetta tries to rule the world and we see how everything gets involved with that? Or is it going to be more thumb twiddling where Vendetta's like, we're going to get the Junkers and the Deadlock and the Hashimoto, and then every 2 months we get a comic showing her talking to someone from one of those respective factions. And then that's it. Like, I'm very curious what this is building toward is, like, the other thing in terms of, like, actual content beyond just comics telling what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen at the end of this chapter? I'm assuming Overwatch is going to... Nah, not this soon. I think it's going to take 3 years for Doomfist to come back. But he will come back.
I don't think it's going to take that long. I think it's
going to be 2 to 3 years. It's not going to be chapter 2. I guarantee you he won't be back at chapter 2. Okay. It'll be chapter 3 or 4 that he comes back.
Okay, because I'm just thinking, like, the chances that I feel like the backlash itself might convince them to bring him back sooner, but we'll see.
I don't think so. I don't think that's going to have a bearing on it.
Okay.
But I'm very curious how distinct these chapters as well are going to be from each other. Because, like, I'm assuming that at the end of this chapter, Overwatch is going to win. Mm-hmm. But what does that mean? Are they going to kill Vendetta? Or are they going to dethrone Vendetta? Are they going to stop Talon? But, like, whatever happens, what happens next?
Yeah.
Is, like, how are they going to end a chapter, end an arc, Like, what does that mean? We haven't seen it yet, so we just don't know what it means to go from one arc to another.
Right.
Guys,
Is
get ready
Talon
for
going to be
Omnic
defeated?
Crisis 3.
Exactly. No, I mean, that's the other thing, though. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like that happen as, like, the big bad of a future chapter. Maybe Chernabog pops out of Emre's chest and has an army of soldiers like Emre.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Like, I could easily see that being a big bad in a future chapter. Doomfist coming back as a big bad, I think, is likely in a future chapter.
I had the idea that maybe the tables turn with Doomfist, where instead of Ramatra having to go to him, he goes to Ramatra.
I could see that. I could absolutely see Doomfist and Ramatra regrouping with each other. I think the issue currently is that Ramatra is, like, content with what he has and where he is, where he's gathered the Omnic consciousnesses that he is content with for the time being, and is now hiding and waiting for humanity to wipe itself out. So, like, Doomfist is going to have something fantastical to offer Ramatra in order to bring him back at this point. But I do think that is a there's a lot of potential with that as a story arc in the future.
Now, tell me what you think of this, because I think this is more far-fetched, but I think it would also be the more interesting outcome, or the more interesting thing that they do. I had the thought that what if the way that Sigma plays into this ultimately is his relevance ultimately has nothing to do with Talon. It has everything to do with Ramatra and, like, the Iris. Because, like, that's sort of the only thing I can think of. Because I feel like they have something with Sigma, because Sigma is such a unique character and, like, how he's situated. He's very much the only character who's a real character in this world who can properly, I guess, interface with, like, these more esoteric forces. And so something I've wondered about is maybe the way Ramatra's storyline kind of goes is there's obviously that interaction where Sigma talks to Zenyatta about having met the Iris. And I kind of wonder if the natural endpoint for this, for Ramatra, is, like, he learns about Sigma having met the Iris, because, like, that would challenge Ramatra's beliefs, like, fundamentally. Because my understanding of Ramatra is he thinks of the Iris as, like, the reason the reason humanity doesn't know of the Iris is because humanity is not worthy of knowing the Iris. That's my understanding. If Ramatra learns that a human has met the Iris when no Omnic has ever met the Iris, that would challenge, even if he just heard about that would challenge his beliefs so heavily, I can't see him not going after Sigma and, like, wanting to question him.
I don't know if Ramatra's that fixated on the Iris, though. I think he's more fixated on just Omnics as, like, a people.
Yeah, no,
and their well-being.
I agree, but the point I'm making, is, I wonder if Ramatra would want to, like, ask the Iris a question through Sigma about, like, how justified his cause is, and, like, what happens to Ramatra, like, what happens to Ramatra's psyche if the answer the Iris gives back is, like, what you're doing is wrong.
I don't know. Like, can the Iris even communicate?
Evidently, like, it can talk to Sigma.
But everything talks to Sigma. The universe talks to Sigma. Like, I don't take Sigma saying that he's met the Iris to literally mean he's met it like it's a person that you can meet. I interpret that more as I've met the Iris, as in I've been exposed to and made aware of the Iris. The way you might be exposed to and made aware of gravity.
Well, then he wouldn't say we've met.
Well, sure he would. That's how he talks. He talks about things in that sort of like weird, like detached mentality type context.
Because it always sounded.
I mean, he no doubt believes he's met it. In
Right.
whatever way he interfaced with it doesn't really matter. He just believes he's met it.
And that alone is sort of more what I'm getting at. Like, yeah, Ramatra cares about the Omnic people more than anything, but he's still, while he disagrees with the Shambhali's methods, it's not like he doesn't believe in the Iris anymore. It's so I sort of wonder if even if we don't say Sigma talked to the Iris, like Sigma is capable of interfacing with the Iris, and the Iris seems to have, even if it's not like a being, it seems to have a philosophy associated with it. And so I sort of wonder, because what I'm getting at is, what if through Sigma, Ramatra learns that just like what he's doing is wrong? Just like fundamentally, like from on high, what he's doing is wrong. I think that would be very interesting. Like,
I just don't think the Iris is something that can communicate that. Unless it's done through like a abstract sort of like Ramatra always knew what he was doing was wrong, and his perception of believing he's communicating with the Iris makes him like realize like the truth was in you all along type stuff, where
yeah, I could see that.
he thinks the Iris is telling him this is wrong, but really it's him just realizing for himself that what he's doing is wrong.
That could work.
Because you say there's like an ideology and a philosophy imposed upon the, like, I think the Iris itself doesn't inherently hold anything like that. I think it's an ideology and a belief system imposed upon the Iris by Omnics.
Okay.
I don't think it intrinsically has a sense of right or wrong. It's more like I've always perceived the Iris as more like a force of nature, like gravity. It's just like something that exists in the universe in some weird abstract way that like isn't sentient or conscious or has any sort of like, you know, rule system to it other than just like, this is how it works. Like, this is how gravity works.
Okay. Because, I mean, obviously, my thought process on that is, like, that's exactly the sort of things that's, like, Sigma's ballpark.
Right, which is why I think he has, like, I think that's the significance of Sigma having met the Iris, is that it is a force of nature, like gravity's a force of nature. So, like, Sigma has very much met gravity, you could say.
Yeah.
It's a similar thing with the Iris for him, where it's like, that is what this means.
Interesting. Yeah, because, I mean, I guess talking about more like Sigma, because the obvious inspiration for Sigma is that Sigma peered into a black hole and saw something, like, incomprehensible, and it just shattered him. Like, that's obviously what they're going for. So, on one hand, I kind of never expect them to reveal what that thing was, because I think, almost by its nature, you shouldn't reveal that, because it's incomprehensible. There's no point in trying to describe it, if the point is that it's incomprehensible. But on the other hand, I do feel like they should play around with that with Sigma and the Iris. Like, he's the only one who is familiar with this sort of universal power. So, I don't know. That's sort of my thoughts. But yeah. Anything else you want to add to that?
I'm curious. I am very curious to see what Sigma does going forward, because he's been almost peculiarly absent thus far in everything.
That's what I've been thinking.
Like, we've had a lot of focus on Talon, a lot of stuff moving with Talon, and his name has never come up once. His face has never come up once. Any sort of like discernible allusion to him has never come up once in all of this stuff. It's as if he doesn't exist.
Despite
And when he does
strange.
exist, he's just a weapon they bring along. Sorry for the echo.
Despite the fact that he's literally the most powerful entity, as far as we know, in like this world.
Right, but I'm just talking about in the context of like, especially the most recent comic, where we see like every Talon member plus their connections now to Deadlock and Hashimoto and potentially Junkers. It's like we're seeing like all the names and faces pop up here, and Sigma is just still nowhere to be seen. So like, why didn't they even just why isn't there even just a throwaway line from Vendetta or Moira or something about the madman in the basement, just to like be like, oh yeah, Sigma exists? Because right now it feels like he just doesn't exist. And are they building up to that? I suspect they might be building up to Sigma, where it's like, obviously players know he exists and that he's part of Talon. But in the story, is there going to be a reveal? Because specifically, one of the things I noted is that with the whole Grand Mesa heist that's being planned with Deadlock, they don't really explain or convey why Talon wants to infiltrate Grand Mesa. All we know is that they're working with Deadlock to infiltrate it to do something. And so I'm wondering, are they planning to steal technology or something, some sort of MacGuffin that will help them better control Sigma? Is that going to be like the reveal? They get something.
May I ask for some extra context to this? Because, you know, if what they're stealing were plans before Doomfist, that might allude to something differently than it would that plan only existing after Vendetta came along.
From what we know, this plan only exists with Vendetta post Doomfist. This wasn't something that Doomfist was ever planning to do.
Then,
but
I mean, it might be a way to try to disarm him if they suspect he's still alive.
It could be something like that, too. Disarm Doomfist, you mean?
Yeah, because Doomfist, I mean, if he is alive, is trying to rearm himself.
I mean, I feel like if Vendetta was worried about that, she would have just driven her sword through his skull in the office, but...
Well, he fell off the fucking building, man. He had no time.
Threw him. Like, okay, Vendetta, how stupid are you? If you want this man dead, don't throw him out a window. Cut his head off. Like, I don't know. I don't think they're worried about Doomfist right now. I don't think Doomfist is going to come into play in that sort of way yet. Eventually, sure, I'm sure it'll happen. But in the immediate short term, I think I don't know whether it has anything to do with Sigma or not. I'm just thinking it feels like they could be setting up the Sigma reveal where something at some point along the line of the story arc is revealed that like, oh, Sigma is like a part of this because he's otherwise been curiously absent. Either that, or much like Ramatra, maybe the developers just have no idea what to do with Sigma as a character and have decided to just pretend he doesn't exist. That's also possible.
I mean, one of the things that's suspicious to me is, like, I find it unbelievably hard to believe that, like, Sombra isn't thinking about what to do with him. Because, like, she is not going to leave him in the clutches of Moira without any sort of plan to get him out. Like, that just... That doesn't fit Sombra's character at all.
Oh my god, it's gonna be a heist to protect the Sigma. He's gonna visit every single, like, evil base as Sombra tries to get him away from Talon.
The thought I had is maybe Talon's just gonna deploy him and Sombra's gonna try and nab him before he can do anything. Before he can, like, go crazy and level a city.
Then where do they go?
Probably to Overwatch. They just dump him off. Like, he's safer there.
Just drop him off at Overwatch, you know, no big deal.
Just drop him off on Winston's doorstep or some shit. Like,
just sit on, like, a rocking chair, and then, you know...
I kid you not. I feel like that's the direction Sigma is going in, to some extent. Because Sigma has for so long been established as, like... Sigma is a very good person. Like, Dr. De Kuiper's a nice guy. He has no interest in world domination and, like, hurting people. And, like, other than when he goes crazy, he's not violent. He's...
No, only when influenced is he violent.
Exactly. Only when, like, the craziness gets to him is he violent. So it's... it feels very in line with Sombra to be like, if I want Sigma to not be in danger from himself, the best way to do it is to have him in the custody of people who don't want to use him as a weapon, which Overwatch would fit the description of. And that's sort of the only thing I can think of. Because obviously Overwatch aligns with what we know of Sigma's morality way more than Talon does.
Well, wasn't he at an Overwatch facility when his incident happened, or did I dream that up?
He was on, I believe, a Luchang satellite.
Okay.
I believe. Or it might have just been in, like, an international space station of some sort.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on that. That's sort of... But you're right. Like, Sigma is conspicuously absent. And...
Okay, and how do we get Kiriko into this?
Don't even
Is
joke.
what the devs must be thinking right now.
Don't even joke. But, yeah, I feel like the fact that Sombra and Widow and Reaper have left Talon without Sigma... Sombra especially, without Sigma, means Sombra has to have some sort of... She has to have a desire to get him out. I don't see a world in which she doesn't have a desire to get him out. You know what I mean?
Well, she'd have the capacity to do so with everything in her toolkit, literally in-game and in lore. The only person who would potentially stop her is Moira.
Yeah, but this is an interesting thing. I kind of wonder if Moira eventually isn't going to like Vendetta either. Because Moira's, like, goals, while her methods are completely terrible, her goals ultimately are, like, medical miracles. And, like, I don't see her aligning with, like, the scorched earth approach that Vendetta seems to have.
The fucking I must rule and dominate kind of perspective
that doesn't
she has.
seem like Moira's thing. Moira...
No, Moira was very in line with Doomfist's ideology, more or less.
Yeah, definitely not. She's not in line with Vendetta's. But
okay, well, that's also another interesting discussion point. Do you think they'll work, like, in the shadows again, you know? Are they going to regrow Doomfist's arm into some fleshy abomination?
I don't know. But all I know is that, like, I don't see a world in which Sombra just forgets about Sigma, is what my point is.
No, right. I don't think... I think that's going to come up at some point. Also on the point of Moira not liking Vendetta... Sanjay very clearly does not like Vendetta.
Not like her.
And yet is still on the council. I could almost see Moira and Sanjay forming some sort of, like, inner coalition of, like, all right, we don't like the new boss, but we're here. What do we do about this?
Well, the problem at that point is obviously Domina with Sanjay.
Right. I mean, we don't know enough about Domina yet, is the thing.
Domina's just a corpo.
I feel like the devs are finding that out too, unless they've already worked on that a bunch.
Well, I mean, we just haven't seen enough of her yet. It's true. The same issue Vendetta has to, like, a different degree, where it's like she's just so new that we don't know who or what she is really yet.
Yeah.
And over time, presumably, we will figure it out. But for now, it's like, okay, yeah, what is Domina's real, like, allegiances here? Obviously, she cares about Vishkar. She cares about her image as a vice CEO, like. But beyond that, like, what is going to make sense for her character in the long run in this situation?
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't actually read the comic. There was a comic surrounding Domina, right?
Sort of.
There
was a comic where she appeared.
Okay, yeah, it wasn't a comic. That's the only thing I know about her. and that's apparently she's more of a Viscar. But given her name, general design, and what I've heard from the ideology, she doesn't seem exactly out of line with Vendetta's way to look at the world.
No,
No,
not
she
at
feels
all.
very aligned.
Very
and both of
aligned.
them very directly shit on Sanjay, which I find interesting for like if Sanjay ends up like becoming like a turncoat, like he has all the reason to do it because they don't respect him in Talon and he's aware of that. And if Moira is also looking to be like, yeah, I don't like the new leadership either, I feel like a Sanjay Moira plot point could be in order.
And then at that point,
Sanjay Moira plot point is dangerous game, man. That I'd love to see that.
And then at that point, that almost inherently brings in Symmetra.
Yeah, because Sanjay is very similar to Moira in a lot of ways too.
Yeah.
Where he's like very clinical, very pragmatic. It's like he's not evil. He just does what he believes is the betterment for humanity through redevelopment.
And he's also just a little not ethical.
Yeah.
Well, sure. He's like, some people die, but the world's better off for it. Just like Moira.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like Doomfist.
Just like Doomfist. Yeah. Yeah.
There's gonna be some fucking fracturization in Talon. It's gonna be we're gonna see some shit.
Oh, there's definitely gonna be fracturing, yeah.
But where all of the fractures end up is gonna be the most interesting part of seeing this all play out. If they manage that correctly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this going back to Sigma before we get too off topic from this. So in the context of future chapters, presumably all having their own big bads and villains, with the first chapter being Talon and Vendetta as the big bad. Mm-hmm. What if they've already burnt Null Sector, basically? Maybe they could bring Ramatra and Null Sector back eventually as a future big bad.
I feel like they almost have to eventually, yeah. But
like, I think that's a ways off.
Yeah.
Because of just everything. I think it's a ways off. What if... I don't know how well this would go over, and I don't think you would like this, Astro. What if one of the upcoming big bads is Sigma?
Why, though? What about...
Because something happens in a preceding chapter that just supercharges his mental stability, and he just like goes off the deep end and becomes Cthulhu. And now the world has to deal with
too many of the violent pills, and it makes him go apeshit so much it becomes everyone's problem.
And now he's just like this god tier entity that's just wrecking havoc across the planet because he's lost his mind. And it's like, oh shit, we need to take down this thing because it is literally going to destroy the world.
You say
he very much has
the end resolution will be Sombra coming in. Sombra's going to come in and be like, no, remember who you are. And then he's going to be like, I'm sorry. And then it's all going to be happy. But
you say that, but I would hate that. I'd be like, I'd be perfectly fine with that. I'd love that.
You'd love Sigma becoming Cthulhu and being the big bad of a chapter.
I mean, that sort of arc of, like, Cthulhu, just, like, Sigma just becoming Cthulhu, and just, like, there's, like, the whole arc of him having to, like, with Sombra's help, like, try and sort himself out towards the end there, and that's, like, how it resolves. Yeah, no.
I feel like the funniest way they could let that resolve is just hacking Sigma with Sombra, and he just calms the fuck down.
They hack him out of gravitic flux.
they hack him out of his fucking crazy state.
No, genuinely.
He's like, oh, the pill dispenser no longer makes me crazy. Thanks, Sombra.
Genuinely, I would really like that because Sigma is a character who deserves that sort of spotlight. He's way too powerful and way too interesting to not have him get a spotlight at some point.
Also, I feel like they're going to be scrounging for big bads eventually. Yeah. Because, like, Talon is, like, the obvious one. Null Sector is, like, the most comparable after that. But then after you've used Talon and Null Sector, what other big bads are there? Chernobog, potentially.
Yeah, the conspiracy.
Maybe the return of Anubis in some form.
Yeah.
But, like, even then, you're going to get too redundant with just having, a new God AI of the week. Like, you can do that, like, once, and then you're going to need a really long cooldown before you can pull the God AI antagonist again card. Like, I think Sigma has a good chance of being the villain of the week for one of these upcoming chapters.
Yeah, he's really one of the only characters even revealed so far, with the capacity to be a threat big enough to any and all factions for them to even work together on anything.
Yeah.
Either that or they evoke space aliens, like actual extraterrestrials, as like an enemy.
Dude, they're gonna bring Martians, and only Juno is gonna understand what the fuck they're saying.
They're gonna be true space aliens, and we're finally gonna get them big alien titties.
No.
Okay. All right.
Either that or demons.
Those are both stupid.
If someone starts summoning demons, I fucking swear, man.
I mean, Japan loves their demons. And we see the preference that Blizzard's already building.
I wish they'd rather summon a dragon than a demon. I mean, it can still be a yokai of sorts, but...
What the fuck are we talking about? This is Overwatch.
I know, but they've kind of lost the plot on, like, not being sure if there's magic or not. There just is now.
Remember, sci-fi shifting to fantasy.
Yeah.
We're gonna get demons. Just you wait.
If there's
This is
fucking
Blizzard we're
demons in the
talking
future,
about. It's either gonna be aliens or demons. We're gonna hit one of those eventually. Maybe both in the long enough run.
demons, so they can make Diablo crossover skins.
Exactly.
Man, that would be so fucking lame.
We're either gonna face the Zerg or Lilith.
That'd be so
Pick one.
fucking lame. Like,
I think the Zerg would be funnier.
Also more fitting.
Because-
I would prefer the Zerg.
They just like do a fucking quad, like a dimensional portal. They slice it open, like in the middle of Ramatra's base, and it just gets flooded by fucking little guys.
Okay. Get Zerg rushed.
He literally gets Zerg rushed. What did they do now?
All right.
I want to see the Zerg fight an army of slicers.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we've covered everything.
Yeah, we kind of
we haven't
got off
covered
topic
everything.
there.
There's still the possibility that Super Mario shows up.
Okay. I don't know.
No, we must have covered everything.
The end of chapter 6, it ends with a green pipe. The camera
A
zooms in
green
on it,
pipe
and
and
then
Chris
you hear,
Pratt's voice.
Do. And then it cuts to black, and it's like Mario will return in
Overwatch.
an Overwatch Endgame.
It's gonna be teased in the new Mario Galaxy movie.
Okay.
Or they do something with Fortnite, considering that collab looks to be a thing happening.
That is okay. I just figured something out. That is their way of like making interdimensional portals happen within any lore setting.
Yep.
Okay. Anyways.
God damn it, man! We can have Naruto in Overwatch.
We already have Transformers.
We can
But
have
it's not
we can
canon.
have fucking Richard and more.
It's not canon, so whatever. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all we got. But this was a good part 2. So, if you don't have anything else to say, you two, we can sign off.
I think that's it for me.
All right.
I don't think I got any quack theories left.
All right. Well, then one of you give us our sign off.
Well, we've got Ness here.
That's
Time
what I
for
was
the
just-
We got
iconic Ness sign
the
off.
titular character.
Yep.
Fuck. I'm cycling through some really bad ones right now. Just give me a moment.
Oh dear.
Just say all of them, and then Astro can edit down to whichever one is best.
Well, I mean, the one I was
Or
going to
just
say
not
was
edit on you.
don't photograph every crime you've committed. That'll end up the same way as, But, goddamn, what the fuck is another good one? I don't know. The world could always use more heroes. A whole 5 of them, apparently.
All right, that one works. All right. See you, folks. Say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.
See you next year.
Shut up.